It's coffee time, it's coffee time, it's the One Pot Chef drinking coffee and time. What do you think of it so far? Rubbish. Welcome to Coffee Time, the chat show here on the One Pot Chef blog where I answer questions sent in by you. And as you can see, we've got a special guest. It's Nicko from Nicko's Kitchen.
How many times have I been on Coffee Time?
You have the singular honour of being the second and only guest on Coffee Time.
Oh, that's good.
Either makes you very special or very sad.
Underprivileged.
Yes. So, we've got some special questions for the two of us. I put out the call on Facebook, Twitter, Google+, and I don't know where else, but they're the only ones that actually responded. So, we've got a bunch of questions for the two of us to answer. So, let's get into it. First question comes from Australian YouTube community on Twitter, who asks, who are some of your favourite Australian YouTubers? This is a difficult question because if we say people then don't say other people, we get yelled at. And if we say people and don't say people, we get yelled at.
I mean, obviously, you know, food-wise, I love watching you and cake-wise, you know, I love what Chopper does with his cakes. Elise and Chopper do amazing.
I wish I could do cakes like them. They do amazing stuff.
But there's a lot of. It's hard just to name some because there is so much talent in Australia. Damie, Luna,
friggin' Boom,
yeah.
Andrew Ward Fiasco, love him.
There's heaps. It's hard just to. We could do a whole coffee time on just them.
True, so. But that would be.
If I left anyone out, I'm sorry.
Well, I'm not. There you go. All right, next question. Bradley from Twitter asks, have either of you tried poutine, and would you?
Yes, I made it. Badly, apparently, according to the Canadians.
But just for those uninitiated, to explain what poutine is...
It's basically fries with gravy and cheese on the top. It's all sort of melted in. And it's what did our Prime Minister call it? Canada. It's a delicacy in Canada. It's a delicacy in Canada. And I made it, but apparently, and I've got to make it again because all the Canadians said you did it wrong. So I've got to do it again at some stage. Yeah.
Personally, I've never tried it. I've heard of it, and it sounds great because, like, I love chips and gravy. Yeah. I've always loved it ever since a kid. So, like, the adding cheese to it seems odd, but I reckon it would be really good. So,
yeah. No, it is good.
I think if I ever go to Canada, or if I ever get him to make me some, hint, hint, it might be worth it. It's worth a try. Damie from Twitter, we just talked about her. What was it like when you both first met?
It's just love at first sight. When did we actually first meet? I think we first spoke in 2008.
Yes.
And
online, that is.
Yeah, online, yeah. And did they have Skype back in 2008?
No, we didn't have Skype. We used the private messages on YouTube initially.
That's right, yeah.
And I think MSN Messenger.
Yeah, yes, that's right, yes. And ICQ.
And ICQ.
If we're
not that bloody old.
We're going right back. But we didn't meet until 2010, which I think we first met at the Brisbane gathering in 2010. But we had spoken heaps in that first 2 years, but we didn't meet until 2010. But it was just like, because we had already spoken, it was like we'd already met anyway, so it was sort of...
Yeah, so it's one of those strange things with YouTube. Is that you know people because you know them from YouTube and you talk on Skype and stuff like that.
And you see their face.
And you see their face and you have a regular relationship with this person, but you've never actually physically met in person. So when you do meet, it's just sort of like, oh, okay, you're a person now. Okay, cool.
It's like, oh, you've got arms and legs. That's a bonus.
Yeah.
I didn't realise how tall Dave was. I mean, I'm about 6 foot and Dave's about 8'11". So, like, it was
pretty much any way you measure me.
Yeah, yeah, that's in millimeters, folks.
Just remember who the boss of this show is.
Yeah. So,
what are you talking about?
Meeting each other for the first
time. Yes.
So, it was normal. It was like just catching up with an old friend that you hadn't seen for a while. Yeah.
That's the thing, because, like, I mean, when you often meet people like you've known online, you often think sort of like, wow, is this person actually like this in real life or whatever?
Because that's always the thing. Because like,
we were exactly the same, like, weren't we?
Yeah.
I mean,
there's a lot of people you'll see make videos, and then when you meet them, you're like, oh, they're completely different. But the good thing I think with Dave and I is, is what you see is what you get. So it's like I think that's why we've been friends for this many years, because what we're like on our videos is how we're in person, and there's no sort of difference there. So
except with the more bawdy jokes occasionally.
When the camera's off, lordy,
and sometimes when it's on. Great. So I hope that answers your question, and it brings up a few more.
Yes. That's the next coffee time.
Chopper.
Oh, again, another one
from Twitter. What did you do with your first YouTube check?
It was funny, actually. We laughed at this yesterday.
When we saw it pop up.
We said, we actually started... What do you do with your first YouTube check? You actually start to pay off the previous 100 videos you've made. Because it is very expensive to do, especially with what we do, because there's so much stuff involved to do a video. You got to buy the food and all that sort of stuff. So it's not just sitting down vlogging in front of a camera. So initially you're sort of back paying a lot of stuff. So I think that's probably what I did with my first
I can't even remember when I got my first paycheck. It must have been probably early 2008, probably. And it would have been the bare minimum one, $100
like
or something.
Yeah.
So by then I probably would have outlaid at least $1,000 or so dollars minimum. So, but that being said, I remember getting the first one and just going, oh, something's happened. It was one of those things where you get this like $2 a month or something, and it adds up, and you're geting close to that 100 threshold.
Yeah. Going, and we often make jokes about, we can eat bread now. Like when the YouTube, when it comes in, you get paid every month. You're like, yay! I can afford bread.
I can get non-generic milk again.
Yes. I don't have to buy it in powdered form and mix it with water anymore. Yeah,
we can get off the dog's milk. Hey, it's good dog's milk.
Sucking off the dog's milk, maybe. Yeah.
Full of marrowbone jelly.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Tiny Mama 13 from Twitter asks,
Tiny Mama 13.
What is the best and worst dish you have made so far, and have you ever gotten so mad you've thrown the food or sworn at it?
What's the best and worst dish you've made? Is this on a video?
I would assume so, yes.
Well, I'd like to think my best dish is always my last one that I've made. But that's just me being a pretentious prick.
Yeah, kind of.
I think the worst dish I ever made was this microwave chocolate cake, and I think it was when we were first experimenting with microwave chocolate cake things, and I did a big one in a Pyrex dish. Oh, and it took a few goes to get at it, and but the first few times it was just awful. The best, I couldn't sort of name a best one, I suppose. I mean, I can name a popular one, but I think the best one that I liked was probably my Big Mac. I thought that was really cool.
That was good.
And what else was it? Have I ever sworn and
ever sworn and thrown food away?
There's a reason why I don't put my bloopers up, because people would be shocked. But
he's got a mouth on him, this one.
But only because I don't like things getting wrong and all that sort of stuff. And it's not so much the food. It's more technical things, like if the camera's not on, or if you forget to press record, or you haven't put the mic on, or the lights turn off, or whatever. That sort of stuff irritates me.
Well, worst one for me has to be Coca-Cola chicken. That was awful. You remember that, don't you? Yeah. It was supposed to be a recipe video, but it was just so awful I put it up as a blooper video, and it's still up on the channel.
Yeah,
it was revolting. It looked like death. Best. Well, you can probably vouch for this one because you had it last night. I made it for you last night.
Yeah, the lemon cheesecake too.
Lemon cheesecake,
which is his most popular recipe too. Yeah, and it's his mum's recipe. So.
Oh yeah. And it's good, isn't it?
It's gorgeous. I couldn't have a lot of it. I would have dived into it. Like I would have dived into it off a 10-meter diving board if I could have last night. But I'm a bit under the weather, so I only had a little bit. But Yeah.
He restrained himself. As for throwing or getting angry at food and throwing it, I don't think I've ever done that.
No, just people. He's
just people.
He's terrible to work with.
Yes, but I'm worth it.
Dave and his demands. Dave's I told you, no purple M&Ms.
I'm going to pay. You're going to pay for that later. Caroline from Facebook asks, can you tell us something that the other has said or done to the other friends to make the other friend feel better, as you have been going through health issues recently? Any crazy home remedies that have helped? Best wishes to you both.
Well, Dave's here purely to be with me for a week. Because, you know, I've been pretty crook and still very crook, and, you know, it looks like I might be like this for some time yet. So it's been really nice for Dave to come over. Dave didn't have to come over, but...
well, I did. I wanted to make sure you were okay.
He really just wanted to film this coffee time. That's the only reason he's here.
Pretty much.
He spent about $8,000 getting here in business class just to film a coffee time video that's going to make him this.
Exactly.
His accountant's just doing the tills and all the sums, and he's going, "This isn't going to work, Dave."
Got to give him something to do.
But in all seriousness, you know, and the same would be, you know, like Dave was really crooking earlier in the year, and we didn't really know what was wrong with him. But he was, you know, he came over for my 30th. When you were going, you know, when you were in hospital, you know, we couldn't actually come in and see you, but we were in Sydney at the time, and but yeah, I mean, that's just what you do. It's no different to friends in, like, you know, you just say, look, you know, can you hang out or whatever? And unfortunately, we just live on opposite ends of the country, so it's not like you can just sort of pop around for a cup of tea in the afternoon and head home. So
pretty much. Well, as I said, I mean, I there was no question about me coming over to visit because like, sort of I wanted to make sure you're okay. I thought you could use a good distraction. Yeah. You could use some cheesecake because it has amazing medicinal properties.
But apart from home remedies, I haven't tried anything. The only thing there's no medication I've been allowed to have, but the only thing I've popped a few times was a Valium.
I don't think that qualifies as a home remedy.
It's not really a home remedy. It's an old one.
Unless it's your homemade Valium.
No.
There's too much ice cream in it.
No. Yeah, well, I'm not going to go there. But no, I don't know. You didn't try any home remedy. You was on hardcore medication, and
no, I was on hardcore medication, and I wasn't able to eat for nearly 6 months. So yeah, the most sort of home remedy I had was a bit of warm lemon cordial at one point because I just wanted something to keep my stomach settled because I couldn't like eat anything. I don't know if that counts as a home remedy though. Leighton from Facebook wants to know, would you both do a cooking video together? We have.
We have done one.
We have done it. We've done several, actually.
Yeah, I think the first one we did was I think we called it the Great Australian Barbecue, where you did some sides and I cooked the meat.
Yeah.
We did 2 videos here where we did a milkshake and something else. I can't remember what it was.
We did a frappuccino or something.
Yeah.
And you did a milkshake or something. I think it was like a smoothie or something.
Yeah. And is that it? I think
that's all we've done so far. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's
because I think the issue is whenever we get sort of together, either I'm sick as a dog and don't feel like cooking, or he's sick as a dog and doesn't feel like cooking.
Yeah,
so
we haven't sort of fine-tuned that yet.
No, we haven't. Yeah. We'll have to sort of maybe we should go through the McDonald's drive-through or something together on a video and then just sort of pretend we cooked it. Yeah. My homemade Big Mac.
I'm loving it. See that little subtle plug again? I think we did this last time. Little $20 straight in the pocket.
Cha-ching! We'll just make that. We'll put a little cha-ching noise every time we do a product placement.
If you missed it, there was a very quick M just then where we threw up subliminally that you didn't miss. So go back and see if you can find it.
Because it's good. What are we doing? Mohammed from Facebook says, can you both come to Singapore, please?
Well, I've been to Singapore a lot. I love Singapore. Apart from the humidity. I thought Brisbane was bad with the humidity. The minute the doors open at Changi Airport, just smacks in the head. So I did FanFest there last year, and I was there for a few other things. And then the year before that, we were on a holiday, and we've done. Jess and I have done some cruises up there as well. So we go up to Singapore a lot. I think it's about the same time to Singapore it is to get to Sydney.
Probably, yeah.
So. But I love Singapore. It's just beautiful, apart from the humidity.
Well, I went to Singapore when I was a kid. I think I was probably about 6 or so, because it was a stop-off on the way to England. We were going over for my grandparents' 50th anniversary. So I don't have a lot of memories of it, but I do remember it was very, very humid. I remember that particularly. But we went to some temples and went around a few different things, and what I remember of it, it was quite nice. But I've seen sort of documentaries about Singapore recently that sort of make me want to go, I want to go there.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
I want to go to that big amusement park that I can't remember what it's called. On the island?
Sentosa.
Sentosa
Yeah,
Island, that's
beautiful.
the one.
Yeah.
That looks like a lot of fun.
They've got Universal Studios in there too.
Oh, really?
It's a lot of fun. Yeah.
Brought to you by the Tourism Board of Singapore.
Let's see another one. Cha-ching! Cha-ching! That was another $20, folks. That's how it's done. Are you going to press record on this? I tricked him.
Don't do that! No, I've already had one life-threatening scare so far. Don't give me a heart attack as well. Okay, Benoit from Facebook asks, would you guys consider doing a joint 50th birthday party together?
Yeah. In 20 years, maybe. Well, it's 20 years for me.
And if one of us lied about our age.
It's 20 years for me and it's 5 for him.
Because he's about 10 years older than me.
Yeah.
Do you look at that?
You'll never know. You'll never find out how old Dave is. He will never tell you. It's like a national secret.
I'm 21.
Yeah.
Stone.
Stone. Yeah.
Farah from Facebook asks, what would be inside your dream kitchen and which one of you has the bigger one? Kitchen, I mean. He.
Oh, I was going to answer that. I think you've got the bigger kitchen in your new place.
It's possibly more accommodating, yes.
Yeah.
But only by a very small amount.
Yeah,
I've got more sort of storage space, I think.
Yeah. See, Dave's had his kitchen redone. Mine's not. So, Dave's is a bit more modern than mine. So yours is a little bit bigger.
It's probably only a matter of inches. We are still talking about kitchen, folks.
Yeah. Mine's wider, which is, sometimes girth is more important than length.
Mine you can fit more in. Oh, hang on a minute.
Yeah. So I haven't had anything fit in mine yet, so I can't go there with that.
Oh, you can go there. You can go there, take a picture, and come back already.
Yeah. Thanks, Farah. What a train wreck.
My brain hurts. Misty from Facebook. What is your favourite kind of meat? Oh dear. What is your favourite kind of meat? Pork, beef, chicken, etc. and why? Also, I have heard that some people in Australia eat kangaroo meat. Have either of you tried it, and so how would you describe it?
It's very gamey. I would describe it as very sort of... It's a bit like deer or venison. You have to have it rare. If you start to cook it all the way through, it's like eating a shoe.
Yeah, it's all leathery.
Yeah, but I've made it a few times. It's still a very taboo thing to cook in Australia, and a lot of people, especially overseas, are like, "Wow, you eat these?" Because they
see them as zoo animals.
Yeah. And but here they're caught in the wild. They're a pest. They're everywhere. So it's a sustainable meat. It's cheap. It's one of the leanest meats in the world. I think it's only got like 1% fat content. So,
personally, I've never cooked with it. I have tried it a couple of times, but it's not something I'm particularly fussed on.
Yeah.
But I think it's a matter of preparation and how it's served. Because the couple of times I've had it, it's been overcooked.
Yeah.
And it's sort of so. But I'm not a big fan of sort of rare meat, so maybe it's something that is probably just not destined for it. As for favourite meat, I think for versatility, I think chicken, because you can do so many different things with chicken, and it goes with so many different ingredients. I like it, and it's cheap as well in Australia, so that's good. But I like a bit of pork as well.
I bet you do.
Bit of pork on me fork.
Yeah,
Cha-ching!
Pork Association, another $20.
I'm making a fortune off this video.
For me, it's beef. I love beef. I love lamb. But yeah, I love beef cheek, slow cooked. It just melts. It's nice and rich, and I love that. And I love little lamb cutlets and things like that. I like that too.
I've only recently got back into lamb. I think because it's been so expensive recently. It's only just sort of dropped down in price now, so it's actually reasonably affordable.
It's been pretty expensive.
Lamb cutlet.
Is there any other... we've done the beef association, the lamb, the chicken, pork. Pork
on your fork. Look, I've got to pay for this trip somehow. Daisha from Facebook asks, what got you both into cooking?
Oh, the money.
The money, absolutely. The money, the bitches.
The bitches. Yeah. I started... for me, it was watching Nan and Mum from a very young age, and I was fascinated that... And I think we both sort of got the same similar story of how they could have different ingredients and then turn it into one thing that just was so completely different and taste amazing.
Absolutely.
So, for me, it was fascinating as a young kid, and I loved setting up little menus and pretending to have dinner parties as a kid and all that sort of stuff. And
I didn't do that.
Didn't you?
Oh, I did. Didn't do that.
I did. Yeah, I loved it. When people would come around to have dinner, I'd always make a little part of it. And when YouTube came out, I think it was the same for both of us. When you make videos on YouTube, you gravitate firstly to what your passion is. We're funny guys. I'd like to think we are. We've got a sense of humour and stuff. But I wouldn't go out and make a stand-up comedian channel or something like that, because that's not my first passion.
It's not.
And I think, whatever your first passion is, that's sort of what you gravitate to, not like later down the track. I think, you find that the most passionate people on YouTube is what they're doing now. So if it's a comedian, they're passionate about that. If it's beauty and makeup, that's what they're passionate about, all that sort of thing. But
because if you don't have the passion,
don't get on the bandwagon.
Yeah, people will just sort of look at it and go, okay, this guy's doing it for the money, or this guy's doing it because he wants to be
and it's not
famous.
Genuine. Yeah.
And it comes across as not genuine as well. So true. Jake from Facebook, could either of you ever go vegetarian or vegan? I was vegetarian once.
I couldn't go.
Worst 20 minutes of my life.
I couldn't go vegan.
No,
I reckon I could go vegetarian.
Possibly, but
if I had to. If someone, like, let's say it was a medical thing and they said, look, you can never have beef or whatever, then I think you could sort of get away with it, because you'd still eat cheese and milk and eggs and all that sort of stuff.
I think that's what I find difficult about the vegan lifestyle. It's so restrictive, because I love things like dairy, I love my cheese, and to be without that and without chocolate. I've seen vegan chocolate. I'm sorry, but ew. But
I've always been curious with vegan stuff, because it depends on, if you have let's say it's an egg, right, and the chicken's been treated well, and it's not going to be killed for food, and it's just, chickens lay eggs. That's what they naturally do. So if a chicken's in its natural habitat and it's sort of just laying eggs and it's comfortable, it's on a farm, no one's going to kill it, it's got a great life, what's wrong with eating the egg? I can understand if the chicken was being, if it was cruel and all that sort of stuff, then vegans might go, well, I don't want to have that. But I sometimes I don't get the whole, I don't want to eat eggs because it's cruel, or it's come from an animal, I don't want anything from an animal. Well, why not?
Yeah, that's the thing. I personally don't understand the philosophy behind it either, but when it comes to vegetarianism, I could probably do it, but I don't think it's something that I would seriously consider unless I actually had to do it.
Yeah.
I like my meat. What can I say?
It sure does.
So yeah.
Every time he watches John Cena, he starts licking the TV screen.
That's for private. And
not
necessarily true.
I've gone through so much Windex in the last few days.
Yes, I'm the one who's kind of odd. The man who watches non-stop gay porn for straight guys. Wrestling.
Oh, I love the wrestling.
Yeah. Because I mean, it's all a bunch of really muscular men in their underpants, you know, rubbing up against each other.
Ah, but they're women too. Oh, I love when the women come on.
Mm-hmm. Anywho, I'm getting distracted.
Me and Dave are both, and if the women are on and John Cena's on at the same time, me and Dave are competing for space on the TV. We're both licking it.
Mm-hmm. Christy from Facebook. Oh, God, this is the one I was not looking forward to because it's pronunciation stuff. What do you know about Dutch food like stampot adjivivi and...
Oh, yeah.
Jesus. Aardappels met road, cool en get kabbel.
Yeah, I ordered that
I am not even remotely close to that, I'm sure.
Yeah, I ordered that last week at my local Thai restaurant after a few sherbets. Had no idea what I was ordering. No, I don't know what that is. Is that Dutch food, is it?
Apparently that's Dutch food. I'm
don't
not
know.
quite sure what either of those are.
No, sorry.
But I'm looking forward to trying Aardappels met road, cool en...
Do you want to ask Siri what it is? What is...
I'm sorry, I'm going to destroy myself.
Self-destruct in 3.
I can honestly say my knowledge of Dutch food is extremely limited, with the exception of the little spice cookies they get at Aldi once a year.
Oh, yeah.
That's about as far as my Dutch cuisine goes.
They're nice.
And maybe Dutch cheese, occasionally. Dutch Edam.
Sorry.
Sorry. Jake from Facebook. Oh, no, actually, we've done Jake. Sorry, pardon me. Lulu from Facebook. Any plans to visit South Africa? No one ever comes here. I would love to go, only because, I don't know if you saw it or not, Come Dine With Me South Africa. Did you watch that?
No, I didn't.
Oh my God, that was so good. I mean, they had the weirdest food on there, and I so wanted to try it. It's like everything on there, because it was all sort of like, I don't know, Zimbabwe fish, and it was like fish with gravy on it or something, and there was no sort of explanation as to what made it Zimbabwe or whatever, but it was all really interesting, and I wanted to try it because I'd never really thought of South Africa as having a distinctive food style, but obviously it must do. But yeah, actually physically seeing it on that show made me go, oh, I want to try that.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to get over there first and foremost because I've got family over there. I've got cousins over there.
Oh, you do? I didn't know that.
In a place called Durban, and because I always thought I was the last of my line in Nixon's, and that's why I've always wanted a son. So the sort of that Nixon line carries on. But there's actually a couple of other Nixons from my bloodline in South Africa. So the name will carry on anyway. So yeah, I mean that's one. I'd love to get over there. Jess wants to go on a safari. I'm not sort of keen on it, but
that's because you're like me. When it comes to like going to the zoo, you're looking at these animals going, I bet that would fry up beautiful.
Yeah, you go, gee, a bit of lemongrass on that, you'll be right.
Nothing like a bit of rhino in a red wine patch.
Yeah. Braise slowly for a few days.
Exactly. So,
Yeah.
But we're both mentally ill, so that sort of explains it. Michelle from Facebook. Besides cooking, do the two of you have some hobbies or other interests in common? It's obvious you really like each other. Do you do things together?
What a loaded question. Who was that from?
That was from Michelle.
Yeah, good on you, Michelle. Besides, what are the hobbies? Well, I mean, we have similar interests in some TV shows. Like whenever you find a TV show that you like, you'll share it and I'll watch it. And
we both love Vicious.
Yes,
Vicious was hysterical.
Yeah, if you haven't seen that show, Vicious, go and watch it.
Oh God, yes.
Yeah, it's hilarious. It's got who is it? It's got Sir Ian McKellen.
Ian McKellen and Derek Jacobi.
Sorry. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, go and watch it. What other? Well, I mean, what other things do we have in common?
Well, I'll just say TV show sort of things, obviously, but I think it's because we're not like living close to each other. We don't really have the option to do a lot of hobby stuff together.
Yeah, I mean, Dave's got things that he's enjoy. I got things that I enjoy that aren't compatible, but I mean, I think that's what makes us different, and was that all there was from Michelle? Do you do other things together?
I think mostly we just sort of like because obviously we're on other ends of the continent, we just catch up for a couple of days on Skype. We have a good laugh. We talk about our lives, and that's pretty good. And I think that works well. So yeah. Ra from Facebook. Nicko, I know you've already done it, but would either of you consider daily vlogging again?
I get asked this a lot. No, I don't think so. I think, once you do, I think we did 3 years of it straight or whatever it was. And, it's, I didn't want to do it when Emmy got older too, when she started school and all that sort of stuff. So it was only to really sort of capture those years that she probably couldn't remember. And incidentally, I've since taken them down, but I've got them all for us. So they're nice. They're nice memories to have. So I don't think so. Yeah.
I tried doing daily vlogging.
Yeah,
initially,
you did. Yeah, I remember.
But my life is so boring. Like I literally had nothing to talk about after like a month. Yeah, and so
you weren't sitting at the computer all day, but when you did it, you were sitting at the computer.
Yeah, because I was literally just sort of recounting things from my life, which were like pretty average. Like no one wants to see.
And if I was daily vlogging at the moment, it'd be week 8, still very sick.
Yeah,
it'd be like, thanks guys.
Got up 8, went back to bed. Yeah. So it's sort of like no one's going to watch it. So after a month, I sort of went, I'm not doing this anymore because it's boring people senseless. Yeah. But to be honest, my life is pretty much more or less the same as it was when I first tried to do it these days. Like I work from home, so I'm making videos from home. So
I'm not yawning because you're boring. I'm just yawning. Sorry.
Outrageous.
Outrageous.
So let's see. Ruben from Facebook. Have either of you eaten or tried to make watermelon or cherry pie? Being Australian, I've never seen anything like that in a shop. If you haven't made them, would you consider doing a video about it?
I'm not sure how you'd make a watermelon pie.
I've never heard of watermelon pie. I've heard of cherry pie, and I've eaten cherry pie, but watermelon... Out of the gutter, Mr. Nixon.
Oh, man, if there was only a microphone to my brain.
We'd all be in a lot of trouble.
What sort of pie do you like? Cherry pie. Okay.
Sweet cherry pie.
Yeah.
Now we owe money to Warren.
You popped one, didn't you?
We'll see what the day brings. So yeah.
No, I don't. I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know. I think we should probably Google that and have a look. Would you prefer to make the cherry pie or the watermelon pie?
I'm not a huge fan of watermelon.
Yeah, I'm not either. I don't like the. I like seedless watermelon, but I'm not a big fan of it. Jess loves it.
I don't like the flavour of it. Like, it's okay, but it's just sort of like, if I had a choice between watermelon and cherry, I'd probably go for cherry. You're such a dirty-minded individual. Good grief.
I didn't say anything.
So, you don't need to. I can see that dirty little smirk.
Wow.
How outrageous.
That's just your guilt.
Guilt?
Yeah.
Guilt?
Your guilty conscience.
Mm-hmm.
I was just thinking of a cherry pie recipe. I'm not doing what you're thinking.
Mm-hmm. Would you consider doing a cherry pie or watermelon pie video?
Yeah, I would. But I'd probably do the cherry one before I did the watermelon.
I'd probably do the cherry one before you do the cherry one.
Yeah. Yeah. Mine will go a week later and then we'll go, you call me Dave, you call me Dave. Yeah.
Exactly my plan.
Yeah. I invented watermelons.
Marla from Facebook. You invented watermelons.
That's what people say.
Yes, that's true. People definitely do say that. Would you ever consider visiting Dayton, Ohio in the US? I would love to meet you.
I don't have that. I think there's a big race there, isn't it? Isn't the Dayton...
I think
whatever
so,
it is. I think there's a big race there.
It's the home of happiness, apparently.
Is it?
Yeah, according to Shock Treatment.
Oh, okay. Sure, okay.
You know the Shock Treatment?
I do.
The home of happiness.
I'd love to go to every city in the US.
Yeah, we were just talking about this the other day. Like, we'd love to do like a little tour of
because all I've been to is Los Angeles and Chicago. That's all I've been to. Yeah. Yeah, that's what. And I've been to San Diego, but that's in the same state. So, I've been to San Francisco as well.
You've been to more of it than you thought, then.
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, definitely. We'd love to do a tour of the US and go and see all the different bits and bobs.
Tourism US. Hit us up.
Yeah, ding ding.
Ching-ching. We like the two hairy bikers rolling around the US.
Only more talented.
We could be the like the two fat ladies.
Oh, hell yeah.
How good would that be?
Yeah, I would totally be Clarissa.
Yeah.
Except not die first.
Oh my gosh.
I went there. I went there.
Oh, well, I think they're both gone now, haven't they?
Well, they have now, yeah. Yes. So it's open
sad
season.
too, actually.
It is sad because they were lovely.
Yeah,
and
they were great.
And my God, they made some food that could kill you. But oh God, it was good.
Yeah.
Let's see. Sammy from Facebook. What is a good meal for romance in your opinion? Why?
Romance.
Lip gloss and a smile?
Yes. Actually, yes. We spoke about this yesterday. Didn't we? Lip gloss and Dave said lip gloss and a smile, and I said, yeah, but you've got to smile like a donut.
How romantical.
How romantic.
How romantical.
Oh, look, I think anything chocolate. I think you know, like the chocolate fondant, like the lava cake, things like that. What else is a little aphrodisiac? Seafood, certain types of seafood.
I've never understood how that's aphrodisiac.
Just make sure it's just make sure it's fresh.
Here's some rancid cuttlefish. I love you.
Yeah. Here's some prawns that have been marinating in the sun. Oh my gosh! Don't make me laugh. I'm about to pass out.
Oh, gee. Heal.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, look, I think anything that you've made yourself, I don't think it's the food, I think it's the effort. Because I remember one time I came home from work and I think Jess and I were celebrating our second, you know how when you first date and you start celebrating, a month, or you do a week and then it's a month and then it's 2 months and then it's 6. And I think on our second month anniversary, I raced home and I didn't have time to prepare anything, so I stopped by at the little supermarket and I picked up these microwave meals and I peeled the lid off, microwaved them, and then I arranged it nicely on the plate. And Jess is eating it. She goes, "Oh, this is not bad. When did you have time to cook?" And I was like, just whip something up, And then I did say to her, "No, this is something I've actually. It was prepackaged, so yeah." But
But that's the point. It's the thought that counts.
But she's never forgotten it because it was the thought that counts. So. It was a very romantic evening.
Yeah, very romantic. They're still fixing the walls.
Well, they do call me the genetic jackhammer.
No, you need a microscope to see it.
No.
Bang, bang. Oh, even in the West, I'm funny.
Like a Rottweiler strapped to your chest, folks.
Oh, so what was the question? Romance, remember? Romance. Not gratuitous sexualizations.
Yeah.
Romantic, yeah. I think,
do it.
Yeah, just get your leg over. Yeah, I think we can't compete with that question. Next. Soman from Facebook. When will you continue doing the taste test videos, David? I haven't seen them lately. Nicko, have you ever tasted the One Pot Chef's spotted dick? I was referring to the dish. You guys rock.
I haven't had a taste of Dave's spotted dick. I've nibbled it.
Chewed on the corners.
Picked at it. Often said, I think you should get this checked by a skin specialist. No, seriously, no, I haven't. And when he first told me this is, he sent me a picture of it saying, I think you sent a picture of going, what do you reckon? What do you think of my dick?
Yes.
I think you said that, and you sent me a picture of it, and I wrote back going, I think you need to go to the hospital or something. It doesn't look right to me.
Yeah, it should be noted that the picture was the spotted dick and it was covered in custard.
Yeah.
So you let that discharge doesn't look good.
Yeah, that's right. I think you should get that checked. It looks infected. But no, I haven't. No. Next.
To be honest, I'm probably never going to make that again because I liked it, but it was very heavy and it was... My dick was heavy. We've lost control of this video.
I think I actually said to you, I think, what's next? What's coming up next week? Faggots and gravy.
Faggots and gravy!
That's right. And if you don't know what faggots are, what again? It's the lining of the...
Yeah, they're kind of like little haggis meatball type things.
Right, yeah. And they're called, and in the UK, they call them faggots. Yeah.
And so, yeah, I remember being over in the UK and there was a sign outside the pub. There was a little chalkboard saying, lunch special, faggots and gravy, £5.
Dave's eyes lit up. And he just rubbed his hands together and went, bargain. For a fiver.
Where the other half of the question was about continuing with the taste test videos. I'm not doing them anymore. Basically, I've done like about 60 of them over the last, 3 or 4 years or so. So, like, I've kind of... I think I've exhausted the format for the time being. So, I'm going to take a break from it. And if I come up with a new way of doing it, a different way of doing it, then I probably will do that. But for the time being, I'm taking a break. And my waistline is thanking me for it.
We've both lost a lot of weight.
Oh, hell yeah.
Since you said you lost...
About 40 kilos.
40, and I've lost about 25, so...
We're both half the men we used to be.
Yeah. Everything down there is where I can...
Anyway, Frank from Facebook asks, just come to Florida, big guys, we love you both. Oh, thank you. Any chance of a simple meatloaf recipe?
Yeah, I've done one about 6 months ago, I think it was.
I did one a couple of years ago. Mine's got boiled eggs in the centre.
Yeah,
so
mine doesn't.
Nice.
So, yeah. If you're after a simpler one, just check mine out. Don't worry about his.
Mine's better because, like, you know, it doesn't contain spider eggs and hair.
Some people like that.
Competition.
In Florida, I really want to go to Florida.
I want to see the Golden Girls house.
Okay.
Though that's probably in Los Angeles.
It probably is.
I go to Miami looking for something
probably
that
in
doesn't
Burbank
exist.
or something in the air. But I'd like to go to Florida, mainly because we've done the whole Disneyland thing a lot, and I'd like to see what it's like at Disney World. So yeah.
Next question comes from Gary on Google+.
Someone's using it.
I know. How did you both come to produce popular YouTube cooking videos? Are you ever confused by converting measurements? Where do you get that cream that's so thick it looks like condensed milk, and can I substitute condensed milk for it? And when do we get to see a burger recipe featuring beetroot and a fried egg on top?
I've done one.
I don't like beetroot.
Really?
I know. I'm practically going to be evicted from this country for saying that. But
I love beetroot. Beetroot on burgers is amazing.
Fried egg, yes, but no.
How do you both come to produce popular YouTube cooking shows? We didn't start off going, we're going to be popular, or we're going to be this, or we're going to be that. It's up to what people want to watch. So, we don't ever really have a...
There's no magic formula at all. It's sort of, in my case, it was completely accidental. At the time, I started out before you even could make money from it or anything like that. I literally did it because I was bored at home. I didn't have much to do at the time.
Yep.
And before I knew it, I had people from all over the world saying, when's the next video coming out? Can you make this? Can you do that? And it just sort of snowballed.
Yep.
And it just went from there. Do you ever get confused converting measurements all the time? All the time. I
much prefer our system.
Yeah.
It's much easier.
I find Imperial so complicated.
Yeah.
Like how many hectopascals in a kilogram? I have no idea.
And what was it? Oh, we did the burger thing. Yeah.
Did the burger thing. Oh, and where do you get that cream that's so thick it looks like condensed milk? That's thickened cream. Here in Australia, they produce a whipping cream which has got a little bit of gelatin added to it during the process, and so it makes it quicker and easier to whip.
Whip.
Yeah. You knew that was coming. So you can't really substitute condensed milk for it because it's basically a totally different thing. But any cream suitable for whipping, and they'll usually say on the carton if it's good for whipping or not. But basically any cream you can pretty much, as long as it's chilled, you can usually whip it up.
Yeah.
Whip it real good. And our final question comes from Tommy on Google+. Hi, David and Nicko. Are those YouTube meetups events still happening? They were pretty popular a couple of years ago, and in more recent times it's been pretty quiet on that front, which is a shame, as I think it was a lot of potential for bigger things, similar to what the Butter Festival is to Toronto. I don't know what that is.
I don't know what that is either, but yeah, I mean, look, there's been obviously, you know, VidInc was there, I think last year, and then there was FanFest this year. But in terms of more of the grassroots things, we're actually, funny enough, we were talking about this last night, and we're actually trying to sort of set a few more up, sort of those sort of smaller, sort of intimate more ones where, you know, you just catch up with people. It doesn't have to be a big, you know, big thing. It's just a meet up and a dinner, and everyone has a few laughs and goes home and they enjoy their time. So, and that's what we used to do years ago, and I think, you know, we'd probably do a bit more of that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a matter of sort of getting it all together and sort of finding a good date for it as well. So, yeah.
I think it's to, you know, the key is not to make it so... They've got the commercial things, you know, like the fan fest and all that sort of stuff where you buy tickets and things like that, but I think, you know, we probably need to just, you know, go back to how we used to do it sometimes and just have meetups, and people who can afford to fly over and meet up and all that sort of stuff can.
Well, that brings us to the end of our special edition of Coffee Time. I'd like to thank Nicko for his presence and for his incredibly naughty jokes. He's a bad influence, and it was all his fault. And I can't wait to see the Nozwonky remix.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, the last one was awesome. Yeah.
It was very good. And I didn't realise how rude and crude we were.
Oh, well, it was a pleasure that was all yours.
As it always should be. As God intended.
Yes.
All right, guys. Lots of love to you all. Keep out of trouble, and I'll talk to you later.